All right, gentlemen, should we jump on some TNA Against All Odds, which we will be live for, folks? Remember, we watch more live wrestling than anybody else out there. Anthony's got the TNA review coming your way. Tomorrow, we will be here for the kickoff at 11 a.m. We will be back at 8 p.m. for Against All Odds and SmackDown from Scotland, plus Rampage, apparently. I think. I'm not sure, but I think so. And then Saturday morning, we are back for Clash at the Castle. Busy times here at the channel. All the coverage we can shove into 1 week. Actually, there's probably more, but we're doing our best. Against All Odds tomorrow night.
Yes, sir. So pre-show, and I'm surprised this is a pre-show match. Maybe Anthony can provide clarity here, but Sami Callihan versus Jonathan Gresham and a singles match is the pre-show match. It's the only one.
I can definitely clarify that. The original pre-show match was Eric Young and Josh Alexander versus ABC, which I think it was inappropriate to be not inappropriate. I think it was appropriate to be a pre-show match because we haven't actually seen Josh Alexander in a couple of months. He actually pulled himself from TNA events because of an injury. So I think it was perfect to have this as the pre-show, but the fans got upset and they switched it and put Sami Callihan versus Josh Alexander on the pre-show, which they've actually been building the story for the past like 3 weeks. So yeah, you're definitely right. It shouldn't be a pre-show match.
Interesting. Yeah, being like, especially with Sammy being such a TNA guy, I'm shocked that he's on the pre-show.
Yeah.
Outrage.
Gresham's gonna win though. They're really pushing the dark Jonathan.
Right. They are pushing the dark Jonathan. And I actually, surprisingly, for some reason, have Sami Callihan winning only because Jonathan Gresham won the first match. So I was thinking they would have Sami Callihan win the second one only because of last week in his like promo package. He basically said, I know you have this sickness or disease that you can infect people, but I'm a sicko too in the head. So I kind of had this theory that Sami Callihan would take the victory.
I'm kind of split because to me on paper even this should not be a pre-show match at all, because this is literally a fucking coin flip here of you really take the lunatic that you know or fucking Mini Venom out there with Gresham.
Right. It's a good match. Spoiled fans.
What?
We are spoiled fans.
Right.
Well, yeah, and under the pretense of some terrible booking at times, but that's neither here nor there. But I'll take Gresham, just spooky Kraken, I guess.
Spooky.
It's a coin flip though with this. Like that's the thing, is this should be like contendership, like a title eliminator and everything, a number one contenders match towards the world title and everything like that, instead of a fucking pre-show match.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. If you wanted to put some type of stipulation on it, maybe like a contendership match for the title. But yeah, this definitely shouldn't be a pre-show match. I wasn't a fan of them switching it, but you know, I'm not the booker. I can't change it back to the original plan because I feel like Josh Alexander, Eric Young, and ABC is a great way to get the fans hyped for the main card. And I think this was just done poorly, to be honest.
Well, here, we'll start the campaign so Anthony can be the booker. Ali Anthony 2024. Let's go. Right. That's the campaign, folks.
Spooky Kraken. I like it. Cracking that ass. Watch out, Sammy. 4.91K. Those are rookie numbers. Let's go. Rookie numbers. Killing me, Smalls. Let's go. Quick time. We're almost at 5K. What do you got?
So next match would be the EY and Josh Alexander versus ABC match.
Oh yeah.
ABC as easy as 1, 2, 3.
I guess this one is kind of a toss-up because there's no feud or anything going on with them right now. That is why this should be the pre-show match, because it's fair game for any of these two. because Josh Alexander is returning, I'm gonna give it to EY and Josh Alexander.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you on that, Anthony. Again, this does feel more pre-showy of like, kind of scrambled. ABC's had a long run. Maybe they're near the end of their time. Like, where do they go from here? Does Ace
And there's
or
tension.
Yeah, there's tension, and two guys that could be great single stars. Ace Austin or Chris Bay could kind of break out on their own. Highly possible. Yeah, I'll go with you. I can't bet against two Canadians.
I'll stay taking ABC.
There you go. There you go. Let's see. The chat is saying 54%. Yeah, they're split as well.
Well, as you pull up a comment of, I just want those Canadians to lose.
Enough out of you. But they're heart and soul guys of the company. I want EY back in the dub, to be honest.
But that's the thing, is there kind of just seems mess and all. I guess that's the word of the night. Mess and all around this whole feud and everything. Of again, we can make a bigger back and forth argument, I feel, with Sammy versus Gresham than we could with this. Like, we've talked about this enough a bit, but this should have been the opener match.
Yeah.
And then you've got Sammy and Gresham. This was just a bad booking decision.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Could Khan potentially cost EY? Trey asked. I'm asking for a friend.
I mean, yeah, that potentially could happen. I think last week on TNA, I'm closing one of my eyes because I'm trying to remember, but I think last week on TNA, EY did attack Khan. He did. He attacked Khan, and so that could play a factor here. But I just still, if that happens, it needed to be on the pre-show. So
the chat is 50-50 right now, guys. So they're like us. We're not sure what to do with this one.
Right.
Fair enough. So next match of Steve Maclin and Mike Santana, played by Carlos Santana, versus the Rascals of Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz. I feel like they missed their NXT call.
This could almost be a pre-show match too.
No, this is an NXT, weekly Tuesday match.
If Steve Maclin and Mike Santana don't win, I'm gonna have a problem, because I've really been cheering for them to become like a one-time tag team. That happened last week when they were attacked by the Rascals, or 2 weeks ago. So I need both of them to win. And then they can go back to feuding with each other. I don't know how they'll do that, but I need them to win this match. This is the match I'm most excited for tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Again, I hate to be agreeable, but yeah, Santana. I want Santana and Maclin to beat each other up. So maybe there's an outside chance that they beat each other featuring Rob Thomas.
All right.
Smooth, but yeah, maybe they lose because they can't get along. But I also think it's going to be one of those things where they might dust the Rascals pretty convincingly and then go back to hating each other.
Right.
Yeah, but they won't, because the Rascals are going to end up getting involved in NXT. Much to Anthony's opinion and statements previously, and especially because we already had it established this current week, to where New Catch Republic and all of that ain't the friends we need. So we need some new friends. We need some more friends. So Rascals get the win, and then they just cross the prohibited portal into NXT.
That could be the case. Now I'm looking at Trey's comment down here saying that he doesn't trust Maclin. Please don't spoil the rest of TNA for me. You haven't spoiled it, but I've only watched about 15 to 20 minutes. But Maclin did come out and save Mike Santana from Trey Miguel attack. That happened before we jumped back on the stream that I saw. So I have a little trust for Maclin. I do. I know they had a stare down after the match, but I have a little trust in Maclin to pull his weight tomorrow.
Okay. 67% of the chat agree with Anthony. Maclin Santana for the dub.
I like to know the percentages of how many people are wrong.
Not 67. I think that works out to 33.
Well, no. I was saying of how 67 are going to be wrong because what I predicted was the opposite, my guy. But
well, that would be your answer then. My bad. You confused me. What's next?
Mustafa Ali, who I think can we all just kind of predict he's going to show up in NXT at some point?
Maybe.
Shawn Michaels has been a big fan of him on record. But he's defending the X Division Championship versus Trent Seven. Trent Seven is not a name that to me screams X Division, but I understand the X Division is kind of ambiguous.
Right. I think this match is going to turn out to be the match of the night. They had a tag team match, I believe, last week. It was Trent Seven and Mike Bailey versus Mustafa Ali and Champagne Singh. And they showed hints of what tomorrow's match is going to be like. I think tomorrow this match is going to be match of the night. After seeing this sit-down interview, though, with Mustafa Ali from tonight, I'm a little wavering on my decision because his politician was politician tonight. It wasn't, he was deflecting from a lot of the stuff Tom was throwing at him, saying that he's running away from Speedball, saying that he's technically not undefeated after last week losing to Trent Seven and Mike Bailey. He was doing a lot of deflecting. So is it some type of dissension right there a little bit? Is he about to lose the X Division Championship? I don't know. I'm still unsure, but I'm going to go with Mustafa Ali retaining. He drops that title at Slammiversary.
Oh.
Ali wins all the time. If Ali was on the ballot legitimately in 2024, I'd probably vote Mustafa Ali.
He's the best candidate.
Yeah, facts. Keep it a buck. But yeah, 100% to me, Ali wins. This has the potential to be match tonight. I think that's more because Ali's in it. Be honest, but yeah, Ali retains here. It'll be a good match. I don't think that it's really going to be much of a contention of Trent Seven getting the win here.
No, I'm going Ali. Chicago's own. Yeah, I'm going with you. Ali winning. This will be his crowning a moment. Trey going with Trent Seven. Speedball versus Ali would be fire. And I think that's your Slammiversary is the next one, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's your Slammiversary match. Speedball Ali. That's your payoff.
Right.
64% going Ali in the chat as well.
Yeah.
Ali isn't losing at home.
Agreed.
The system of Brian Myers, Eddie Edwards with Alicia Edwards taking on the Nemeth brothers. They need a better name than the fucking Nemeth brothers. I understand it's their last name, but it's a punchable name for some punchable faces with Nick Nemeth and Ryan Nemeth, aka Zigglypuff and not Zigglypuff.
They could be the Ziggler brothers.
Yeah,
brothers.
I'm here to show the world. I'm here to show the world. Come
on. So this one is a toss-up for me because I do think Nick Nemeth is going to challenge Moose for the world title. But there is some big type of dissension in the system right now. They've been losing for the past couple of weeks. But I'm gonna stick with the system. Here. I think they retain and somewhat drop those titles at Slammiversary. I just don't know to who, because there's nobody after the tag team titles other than Nick and Ryan, unless Nick comes out a double champ, after Slammiversary.
Yeah, Nick.
Oh, I was going to let you go with your thoughts.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go with the Nemeth brothers just because of the dissension. Things seem then again, this one's tough. I'm going to go Nemeth brothers, but there's some big rumors that could fuck up my whole theory. So the system's been strong, but they seem to be having issues. The Hardy effect seems to be having a problem with these guys. Yeah, I'll go. Yeah. If Dolph fights him at Slammiversary, it's going to change everything.
Right.
I'm changing my mind. I'm going the system.
Okay.
Fair enough. I'm going the system because I think we're all kind of hinting, teasing, alleging around, dancing around certain topics and angles with all of this here. But I think that we put on a good front here of, the system gets the win and everything, and it's still, been kind of the dominant tag team. And what happens later on in the show might, set up where a lot of other things are going forward here.
I agree.
No, yeah, I agree with you. I think we got 2 matches left, so I'll wait until the end of that those 2 matches to say what I really think of who is going to lose the title in the system tomorrow.
That's the thing. We're going to get there. We're going to
so yeah, but I do want to point out this comment that I do believe Jeff Hardy is coming back to TNA.
Yes.
That's kind of been hinted and rumored, so I didn't think about Jeff Hardy. I do believe he is, if he's not at Against All Odds tomorrow, he will be at the tapings. So Matt and Jeff could go after the tag team titles at Slammiversary. Didn't think about that. So yes, good point out.
That was my hesitation.
Is that because WWE just said thanks but no thanks? Because I feel like they both kind of were probably knocking hard and heavy on that WWE door, and you can have that.
It's possible.
It's possible. And then I did say, I think on the TNA review, that I believe that at this stage of their careers, especially Matt Hardy, I think the broken gimmick for the both of them needs to be their ending. They're kind of set sail. The hardcore stuff is, I don't want to say it's old, but it's old for them. And I think going out with the broken gimmick one last time, I think that's a perfect sunset. And they potentially can do that in WWE if they continue with this TNA crossover.
Well, I sorry, KJ, but I completely agree with you. I hadn't even thought about that, Anthony. If that works pretty perfectly. I think that's been the biggest thing, and why I even mentioned about like WWE clearly saying no to Matt or Jeff. That's, I think, why even they left to begin with. They still are going to want to try and do all of these jump off the ladder spots from fucking 30 feet up and everything. And the body can't do that anymore. Them doing this broken, Hardy compound gimmick and everything works well, and they can have the final deletion and, we will transcend my brother to the other plane and all of that. And that's their fucking send off, and they just disappear. Like,
right.
And it's one of those of respectfully, it's goofy enough that it works with TNA, but it won't work in WWE.
I thought that was beautiful, and I hadn't even thought of it in that context of like, but then you could put it to bed and it say goodbye, because I don't know that the WWE outright has said no to the Hardys, especially with Jeff just becoming available. Yeah. But I do think if the WWE was going to do anything with the Hardys, it'd be very much like the Dudleys or a bunch of the other ones, sign them to like a Legends deal. Maybe they come in, have a few matches, but as the Hardys, not as Brother Nero, not as Broken Matt.
You could still get like one match and everything.
Yeah.
No, but they don't want them flying off the furniture. They want them to have a match.
But that's the thing, is I think Matt, especially compared to Jeff, wants to still be out there like weekly or like every other weekly and everything. And that's respectfully, I was up there with everybody of a certain generation of you're an instant Hardy fan, because everybody tried to do a Swanton Bomb, all of that, does the little fucking rave dance, all of that. But you're not having Matt or Jeff on any sort of weekly television right now. Keep it a buck. Like, honestly, not even at NXT, TNA, GCW would you have them on there every fucking week.
Yeah, I mean, if they weren't going to keep Edge regularly in the mix, they're not going to keep the Hardys regularly in the mix. Let's be real.
Absolutely. Right. Yeah.
So that's quite interesting. And the Jeff Hardy thing, just all of a sudden, like, oh, by the way, he's free on the 14th tomorrow.
Right. I think they timed that perfectly, to be honest. I think they did.
Maybe a little bit. What's next on the talking, Mr. Nick? Wait, 88% of the people are taking Nemeth Brothers, by the way.
Well, what was it? Somebody was saying that the Nemeth Brothers sound like a knockoff Mario game there.
Right. It's like the shitty version.
Right.
Remember you get the multi. You get those bootleg like 500 games in one and it was
literally
all
and like 90% of them were just like Frogger and shit like that. Like it's a lot of Atari type shit.
Absolutely. Ooh, that's funny.
Yeah, anyone 25 and plus can't pretend they didn't hurt a wrist or fingers trying to be Jeff Hardy. Oh, I had a trampoline growing up. I was Sean O'Hare out there, just a big son of a bitch hitting swantons that I had no business doing.
Everyone has that visual of big ass Nick just flying through the air.
Yeah, exactly. Just imagine how much that's gonna suck when I fucking land on it.
I'm in too deep and I'm trying to keep. But yeah, all right. What is the next? Zigzag Bros.
Zigzag Bros. I like that. The Super Ziggler brothers, yeah. But so co-main event of the evening, and this is open to interpretation unless Anthony has his Nostradamus moment again. But we've got Jordan Grace versus TBA TBD for the Knockouts World Championship. Anthony, the floor is yours.
I don't. If it's a WWE superstar, I'll be extremely happy. If it's a TNA superstar, I'm gonna be extremely happy as well. I know a lot of people hated Ash by Elegance showing up at NXT.
I was about to say, what if it was a former WWE superstar who's currently
now a TNA? But what I don't think people understand, and I don't want to call any fans out, but if you're strictly watching if you're strictly watching WWE, you haven't really been seeing what they've been doing with Ash by Elegance. Getting to this point, she has sat ringside at almost every TNA Knockouts World Championship match, including the one where she, made her TNA debut at Hard to Kill. She has sat ringside. If she wasn't there, it was George Iceman with a mannequin, right? So
she's a great ring girl. She's a great viewer of wrestling, not a great executor of wrestling.
Right. He also does that for the HOV lane. I don't know if you guys have those, but like the fast lane on the highway, but you have to have 2 passengers. Yeah, that's like he puts the dummy in the passenger seat.
She has a whole service and everything like that. She's out there. Just call Dana Brooke and she'll just come and sit you right beside you as you can get past in the carpool lane. Sorry, Anthony.
No, you're fine. So I think it was perfect timing for Ash by Elegance to show up at NXT Battleground and do what she did. That set up a specific TNA storyline, and it also potentially set up this match tomorrow, which could be taken by Tatum Paxley, right? Yeah. So I personally feel like, being a fan of both companies, TNA did it right with having Ash by Elegance being there. And on top of that, they did do it right because she was trending not only once, but twice on Monday under Dana Brooke and under Ash by Elegance. So
that's because no one remembered her either fucking name.
Well, it's funny because, I mean, here in Canada, we get like a weekly show called This Week in WWE. I don't know if y'all get it anywhere, but
no, I don't.
And it just kind of recaps the ongoing stuff of the week. So this is what's happened. And they actually like Dana Brooke came back. They didn't call her Dana Brooke. They said Ash by Elegance showed up, who used to be here under a different name. Like they didn't shy away.
Joseph of Dana Ash by Elegance.
Yeah. So they're not shying away from it. I agree with Anthony. I thought they did it well. It tied into the storyline, and people didn't understand, like, why are they doing this? Well, because TNA still needs to benefit from the experience.
It's still a thing. It's still a thing.
Yeah. Could it be Tatum and Ash?
Yeah, that's the question of, is it so singular exclusive here? Is it just Ash by Elegance, or do we get a Tatum Paxley, which is interesting because I think we all kind of at one point or another thought it was going to be Natalia, who was still kind of halfway discussing her contract. We even thought it could have been Roxanne Perez. Obviously, with we always challenge for mine, so I'm going to challenge for yours. So I think that's probably the best thing about this is even as much as it's, it's respectfully, it's a TNA show and all of that, but one of those of it's everything's up for gambles here. Like there's 10 options that they could go and they all sound solid.
Right.
Absolutely.
Natty versus Dana at Slammiversary. or Jordan.
And what, a flotation off?
We made the boat, the dynamic boats. No.
Tag team, the boats that float.
Yeah, the only reason I thought maybe Ash shows up and is like, I accept the challenge, but then Tatum pops out of the crowd and is like, so do I, and they're like, fuck it, we'll fight them both.
I think that's the most likely outcome as a triple threat, honestly, between Ash, Tatum, and Jordan. I think that's the most likely outcome.
Are you reviewing the Hardy Compound episode?
Oh yeah, it'll be on the TNA review. Yeah, it won't be on this one because I haven't watched it yet. So
notice how we all kind of went like,
but Jordan's probably going to win this. It's hard to predict.
Absolutely. It's Jordan all the way.
Now, and side question, especially I guess geared towards Anthony. How long do you think the clock's ticking until Jordan Grace is in WWE?
It depends on how long she signed her TNA contract. I don't think a lot of people said it was a year. I don't know if WWE would do. I would rather them just have Jordan Grace show up on WWE television till her contract expires with TNA. I think that's the best thing. And I know there was one thing a lot of people are missing with Jordan Grace. She has said that she wants to win every title in TNA, and she hasn't won the world title. I think she's going to do that and then depart from TNA.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't think WWE wants to start the poaching game. I mean, they've been accused of that under a different regime. Their competitor, quote unquote, has been accused of doing that with people they were in bed with. So maybe they want to play nice as possible.
Oh, well, we won't poach. We just own.
We'll just take it over.
We just kick our fucking feet up on the desk here. But yeah, I think ultimately what I think is going to happen is going to be Jordan Grace versus Tatum Paxley versus Ash by Elegance in a triple threat.
I'm down with that.
I'm with you.
And so, main event of the evening of
event of the main.
Right. Well, this sounds like some shit that would take place in Maine, especially with Moose as the champion. Versus Broken Matt Hardy for the TNA World Championship.
I don't think there's any question that Moose is winning. Moose is winning tomorrow, plain and simple. I feel like everybody's time is coming with the system at Slammiversary. So Moose is holding on to that title for a couple of more weeks. So Moose definitely wins tomorrow against all odds.
I'm I can't see Matt Hardy being the champion. You're trying to legitimize your company. It's a nice good vibe. Unless maybe Jeff Hardy has a hand in it. I don't think Moose loses to Matt Hardy. I don't think it helps you.
I think that's what they do. I think Matt Hardy goes over Moose 100% through Jeff Hardy's interference, etc. And we've got Matt Hardy, we've got the Hardy compound. We're going spooky, just like WWE's going spooky, because we want to see if we can catch thunder like they did with the Wyatt family. And we've already seen, again, the cracks, the fissures already start to kind of form with the system. And it's going to happen. So, I mean, you might as well do it coming off the back of the Hardys, and you can launch into that versus you do that versus God knows what.
Yeah, I don't see it. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Right.
No, you're not wrong. Like again,
it could happen.
If it could happen to me, it could happen to you.
Again, especially with Jeff popping up, maybe they want to ride that buzz. Like they know it's big, but Moose is such a like, you know, he's kind of become the backbone.
You have Moose go without the title, and now he challenges like a Drew for the title or anything like that. Because you fucking imagine you get a Moose versus Drew McIntyre.
One guy, at least one of those guys will not have a belt. So it will be a no title involved rivalry.
Well, no, yeah, you could have Moose challenge for the world title. Imagine you do something like that.
He's gonna have to fight Gunther or Damian Priest.
Listen, let me fantasy book and cook up here. I'm out here feeling good on the hopium vitamins.
I like it. All right. Well, real quick, I hope this doesn't spoil anything, but PCO versus Rich Swann and Joe Hendry versus Frankie Kazarian. How did we get to Frankie?
I don't even know how we got the PCO and Rich Swann, to be honest. The only match that I really care about is the Knockouts World Tag Team Championship match, which was just added. It's the Hex versus Masha and Alicia. And I think that's where I was hinting to earlier, where there's one system losing the title tomorrow, and it's the Knockouts World Tag Team Championships being lost tomorrow by the system.
Alicia's gonna lose?
Yes, there's dissension. I literally saw that right before I jumped on stream for this.
Is that on the card?
Masha tried to talk to Alicia.
I don't have that on the card.
Just added.
It's just added.
Oh,
yeah.
Sons of bitches.
Masha tried to talk to Alicia, and she waved her off and said there's basically bigger issues we need to deal with. So they're losing the tag team titles to the Hex tomorrow. Allison Kay and Marty Bell.
I'm
matches
fine with that.
Said it again.
Sorry. I said I was just saying I'm fully fine with that because I never wanted Alicia Edwards to ever hold a title in TNA, and I will say that on record. So I'm fully fine. The second she loses that, I will celebrate.
There you go. I'm with you. Screw it. The Hex is gonna win. Alicia and Masha were just kind of holy shit.
They were a mash of some shit together.
They had to mash it up real quick.
Right.
They just needed every member of the system to be holding gold for a period of time. That's about it.
Right. Tony was hoping for Hurricane Helms.
Stand back. There's a hurricane coming through.
Only 56% of the chat is picking Moose to win, by the way. That is interesting.
That's interesting.
Sentimentality playing a role again in our voting.
Right.
You get the Hardy Bros together, and in TNA, you get, I fade away until I'm obsolete. Obsolete.
I'm feeling obsolete. Yeah, Joe's definitely beating Kazarian, right? Unless that's something that's going to continue.
Yeah, that Joe is definitely beating Kazarian. I don't even know how we got here. I guess I'll find out tonight when I finish.
I think so. Do we want to take an outside guess at anyone from TNA that shows up in the NXT Battle Royal? Because I think Joe Hendry is kind of the clear odds-on favorite to absolutely show up. Now, granted, a Matt Hardy, etc., could show up as well. A Top Dollar could show up, but I think 100% we get a Joe Hendry versus Trick Williams. We got to whoop that, say his name.
Ooh.
I don't know how many stars they're gonna have in this battle royal from TNA, but if it's somebody I want to see other than Joe Hendry, the popular choice, I want somebody that's really not known right now to the masses. I'm going with Crazy Steve.
Crazy Steve. What about Kevin Knight?
You were gonna go with Kevin Knight when you said masses.
Kevin Knight is a good one too, and Leon Slater.
Leon
valid, both valid.
PCO shows up. Let's go. Fuck everybody up.
Frankenstein. Feed my Frank. Triple H would be all over of like, we're gonna get Alice Cooper to do your shit, everything.
Right. Again, how full circle would that be if he ended up back in the
That's
WWE.
the way he goes out. Oh, that would be like that. That's that like super wrestling nerdy poetic-y shit that I love. Like,
right.
Only diehard wrestling fans will get it, but it's super poetic.
Yeah, a little bit. Now the question was, if nobody from TNA, it just happens to be other people from other places, main roster people, is it a letdown?
Yep.
Okay.
Not gonna deny it. Yes. And because I think we all kind of worried of post Battleground, was that the end of NXT or was this still going to be a thing? Was this just a one-off and then earrings might have gotten the best of everybody there? That it was just a one-off match, or is this going to be an ongoing partnership of I really do want an actual pay-per-view of a Worlds Collide, like we even covered this WrestleMania weekend with House of Glory and Wrestle Revolver. You did that with NXT versus TNA. I'm all the way signed up.
Yeah, fair enough.
I guess for me, to me, it won't be a letdown. I don't know, because maybe I watch these guys weekly on TNA and it doesn't really bother me if they show up or not. I think, and I'm not talking about you, Nick. I'm not. I came off like I was talking about you, but I'm not. But to me, it's not going to bother me at all. I'm gonna be like, well, I mean, y'all kind of wanted this, so you kind of hyped this up on your own. He didn't specifically say TNA; he said other locker rooms, so it could be somebody from Raw or SmackDown, and it won't bother me. And I guess that goes back to the whole Ash by Elegance thing showing up at NXT Battleground. Like, they wanted somebody else, but it was like, who are you going to get to interfere? Because Jordan Grace has ran through the entire Knockouts division. That's the point of watching both products, because you can't have somebody like Giselle Shaw come out there. She beat Giselle Shaw. So it's like, it's wild. It's wild. So I don't know.
Yeah, we always caution the fans, right? When you get something in your head or you fantasy book it, I think WWE has led us kind of down that road, especially with the NXT. So I think there's a reason for the fans to kind of expect something. But I always caution people to, just because we think it's a good idea doesn't mean it has to happen.
Right.
But
I feel like they've led us down this path a little bit.
Well, that's the delicate dance there of you lead us down the path to, all right, now we're starting to fantasy book some things and everything, but we still have to keep in mind it's a fantasy book situation versus what they're going to actually book, and still judge it on what they actually book versus what you expect them to do. Like, all of a sudden Hulk Hogan and Captain America and fucking Wolverine are not going to show up in the fucking Impact Zone and shit like that. Like,
yeah,
let them do what they're gonna do and then judge it off that.
That's the best booking ever.
And to kind of piggyback off of what Nick said, like when all this started with Jordan Grace, like I was making a lot of videos about it and people were telling me to calm down because I'm making this bigger than what it was. And I was like, no, I'm not. I'm just giving my thoughts, but I'm not the typical IWC fan that's going to get on here and be upset when my stuff doesn't happen. I'm just in my head thinking this could be good for TNA and we could get some really good matches if they decide to go down that road. If not, I'm good, because I'm still going to be watching TNA and WWE each week. Most of the time, it's the WWE fans that are going to be upset if somebody from TNA doesn't show up. Well, if you're watching weekly, you won't have to worry about if they're going to be on somebody's programming, because they're going to be on TNA's programming.
Right. No, I mean, I love it. I love the fact that we're at a point now, and it's all companies, like, not to leave AEW out of the mix. I mean, we don't know who's going to show up on their shows. We don't,
right.
They don't seem to either. We don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. We don't know, and neither do they.
But yeah, I mean, it will be very compelling to see how this all plays out with Against All Odds. And then leading into Slammiversary, it's a big show. If they have a chance to put some names on it, and it goes both ways. But I did like the fact that Moose was like NXT.
Right.
That was my favorite part of this so far. But it should be interesting. I think we're going to get something.
Absolutely.
My prediction: pain.
That's it. I got no polls left, so I think we're out of predictions.
Yeah, and now the time is near, and so I face the final curtain.
Well, on that wonderful note, ladies and
I
gentlemen,
was gonna say I was waiting for somebody to cut me off.
Yeah, 100%. This is our final curtain. Our double duty is done tonight. Tomorrow, a busy day here on the channel. We're going to cover all the shows. We're even going to be here for the kickoff tomorrow morning. If you want to come hang out, talk a little bit of wrestling, kill a little bit of time. 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time is when the kickoff's going to happen. We can kind of revisit some of this stuff. Plus, we got SmackDown. We got Too Fast, Too Furious.
Absolutely.
We got SmackDown. We got Against All Odds. We got Rampage. And then, of course, Saturday, we're coming back with Clash at the Castle. We are still covering more wrestling than anybody can shake a stick at. It's been a fun time. Gentlemen, great job in court today. We will be back with more Wrasslin Court and, of course, covering more live wrestling than anybody else out there. Either one of you have any final thoughts?
I'll be back on Saturday for the TNA review. We'll be talking about Against All Odds, and we'll be talking about the Hardy Compound from tonight and whatever else happens on TNA Impact. So we'll be covering all of it.
Beautiful. Mr. Nick?
The wrestling may suck, but we never do often imitate it, never replicate it, never duplicated. Our shit is real. Our shit is raw. Our shit is authentic. When you talk about that wrestling, you're able to put that for life with it.
Come back tomorrow. We'll see you on the flip side. Thank you so much. Good night.